And this is my husband, Michael, and we're going to play some Warmachine.
Privateer Press is a company based in Seattle. They started a few years ago selling miniatures out of paper bags with printed off paper rules.
Yeah, like conventions.
Yeah, at conventions. And they have since grown to be one of the big miniatures games. It's a skirmish-sized game based around the central model of your Warcaster,
That's a bad example. My Warcaster is far superior.
who leads your army, controls your warjacks, casts spells, and is all around a great guy.
If they die, the game is over and you lose.
The game is played using rules out of Prime Remix, is the current edition for Warmachine. All your units are played off cards that come with each model. The Warcaster has two because he has his stat card as well as a spell card. The fronts contain stats, backs contain special abilities, and the spell card and the feat is on the back of that. So these are the most important cards for your army, although every individual unit attachment, warjack, and solo have their own cards. War beasts and warjacks all have a means of marking damage that controls how many of the systems on board are still operative, and when they lose a certain number of them, they go inert as they've been wrecked.
This is a fantastic game if you don't want to buy too many models, and they don't take very long if you play 350-point games like we're going to play, although people generally play 750 and you can learn more. It's a great game for beginners. This was my first miniatures game and it's still my favorite. There's 4 basic factions and then there's mercenaries. This is Signar, that's Khador. I'm sorry if I'm saying it a way you don't like. Please don't get mad at me. I just call it Signar and Khador. There's also Krix and Menoff.
And all the stats for each model from all the factions are in the same books. Expansions occur in the format of releasing new models for every faction, along with story and campaign stuff in new books. There's currently 4 of them for Warmachine, though you don't need to own all of them. All you need to own are the cards for the units you want to play.
Time to roll off to see who goes first. We use 2 dice because it's less likely to get a tie. Come on. 5?
And 7.
We had a roll before this that I won. I knew I'd lose this one. Oh well.
The Motherland goes first. Deployment occurs in a 10-inch area. I am using 1 warjack, a heavy warjack, because Khador does not use light warjacks. A small unit of 3 Greylords, and then a larger infantry unit of Iron Fang pikemen.
Yeah.
By the way, the game is played standard on a 4x4 table, and
You
since
see
this
the
is
tape here?
built for 4x6 play for games like Warmachine, Warhammer, and Warhammer 40k, we've taped it off to 4 feet so that we don't have to remember where the line is.
So yeah, Haley is kind of a squishy caster. Like, she has great abilities, but you don't want her to be out in the open. I've learned that lesson the hard way far too many times.
The main statistics in question on any model for the purposes of combat are their melee attack bonus, their ranged attack bonus, their defense, and their armor. When attacking with a melee weapon, you have to be within melee range, which is a 1/2 inch for most models, or 2 inch for those with reach, like my pikemen. And you add their melee attack bonus, generally called a mat, to the roll of 2d6 to try and equal or better the model's defense. You do the same with a ranged attack using rat. To wound a model or kill them, you add the power plus strength, or just power if it's a ranged weapon, to the roll of 2d6, and you compare that to their armor stat. And for each point above their armor, you have inflicted 1 wound. Most infantry are single wound.
You have to decide before the game begins which warcasters you have are controlling which warjacks.
Your warjacks are bonded to your warcasters, and they are required to make them function. And generally, without focus allocated to them, they're not very good at hitting things other than other warjacks. But when they do hit, they can hit with devastating force, because not only can you make them more accurate, but you can also make them more powerful by giving them focus.
Use focus to cast spells, to boost rolls, and actually, if you have leftover focus at the end of your turn, it adds to your armor bonus. Now, I have this little army person here. I love her. She's my journeyman warcaster, which, by the way, is something only Signar has. This centurion is going to be controlled by Haley, whereas this Grenadier is going to be controlled by my journeyman. Okay. So I advanced deployed. That is the end of deployment phase. Time to play.
Okie dokie. On every turn, you have a maintenance phase, a control phase, and an activation phase. During your maintenance phase, you remove any focus that was unspent last turn from your Warcasters and Warjacks. Have epic music play, and
This is what we're gonna play during every Kador turn.
We've always wanted to do that.
want to have like the Hunt for the Red October playing in the background. So he's just going to go ahead and move to the control phase, and he's going to give one focus to his Spriggan. Then we're just going to start activating.
Here you go.
The Iron Fang Pikemen are going to go first. They're going to execute an order, which is something only unit leaders or the Warcast can give them. They are going to advance their speed in shield wall is the name of the order. As long as they're standing next to each other, they gain a defensive bonus of +4 to their armor stat. So they are tough customers when they start trudging across the field. The downside is they're not moving very fast because they're only advancing. Models can generally move up to 2 times their speed in a run action, but that is also an order and you can only get 1 order a turn. Now Warcasters can cast spells at any point in their turn, so he has a spell called Superiority which costs 3 that he's going to cast on his Warjack. That improves its speed, its mat, and its defense, and it can't be knocked down, which is very nice. Then he's going to walk forward his speed of 6 inches. He's going to draw a line of sight through his front arc to at least one of these guys. And he's going to measure out the 8-inch range of Iron Flesh. So he's going to cast it on that fellow.
Yeah, that gets it.
Alright, so he's going to spend 2 focus to cast that, so that ups their defense as well, so they are very difficult to hit.
So you cast 2 spells already, one on the Spriggan, and one on the Iron Fangs,
Do you have
and then
any
you've got 1
allocated?
focus left.
Yes.
Did you?
And you've allocated 1 focus to the Spriggan.
Yep, and the Spriggan is going to spend that 1 focus in order to run. Now since his speed is increased from 4 to 6, he runs 12 inches instead of his standard 8. So now he's up there in front of Irsk doing his job and defending everybody. The Grey Lords are somewhat slower. They will advance 5 inches each. And they're going to check range and see if they can't cast some cloud spells. They're utility casters. Their Blizzard obscures things. And it is very epic. This guy's going... Anyway, they're going to make it harder to see him by playing a cloud effect, which will increase their defense. He has to actually attack him with it, because it can be either an attack or a defense spell. So he's going to get a +2 to hit, because he's attacking the back arc. So on a roll of 2d6, that's a 7, and you add 7, and that will easily hit his defense 12, even without the +2 he gets from a back attack. This Grey Lord is going to do similarly on Irusk to grant him some much needed defense. He will similarly succeed as 7 + 9 beats the 15 he normally has. And then this guy back here is going to cast on the lead other Grey Lords so that they have a little cover. And that will just hit as they are...
So you're using the Grey Lord's
magic of
statistic
7.
of 7 plus 2d6, and it has to equal or beat
their defense.
The target's defense.
Normally that wouldn't. That would only be a 13, but he's once again casting in his back arc. So he's going to get a +2 to hit. So technically what that actually did was place a 3-inch cloud effect right on top of each of these guys' bases. But what clouds do is they block line of sight behind a model, like behind the cloud. You can't see all the way through, but you can see into it at a cost of -2 to your ranged and magic attack rolls. So they're going to be a lot harder to hit. Irsk is ending his turn with 1 focus left on him, which boosts his armor by 1, bringing his armor stat up to 16, and I'll turn over the tape to my wife for her turn.